This is the Battlefield 5 open beta. It's finally here. I played this at E3. It was just the operations at that point, but now we have a larger look at the game that was actually recently delayed, and I can sort of maybe see why. So first off, we got your company, kind of allies, Axis forces, able to customize the classes. There seems to be a lot of choices available and like a credit system involved, and you can tweak things on your guns, some customization options. More weapons are available. Kind of just looking at the medic class, different types of melee tools. This is a World War II shooter, so it kind of moves from Battlefield 1's World War I, and it's changed the gameplay up quite a bit in terms of basically what's going on in this one, so these vehicles and everything like that. But we're going to talk about the gameplay a bit more when we actually get into it. You have your assignments too, kind of basic training and everything like that for doing certain objectives. I'm sure there'll be achievements attached to that. The ARMORY, where you can kind of get additional weapons and scopes. It seems like they're, I don't know, maybe pushing microtransactions a bit more. I don't know, we'll see how that works out in that regard. So we're gonna play, obviously we got some different things. We got like the Tides of War here, and we've got the multiplayer. There's gonna be war stories and the combined arms mode. Just kind of jumping into things, there's the Tides of War event with the shock troops, kind of briefly mentioned that 2 seconds ago. Then there's the ground operations, where it's a large scale battle taking place over a series of levels. We're just going to do Conquest today because you've probably seen a lot of ground operations if you have been looking into playing this game or on gameplay in general in the past on this one. Alright, so we're jumping into a match a little bit in. Hopefully we can show off both of the maps then time-wise. So you got the different classes at the bottom. You get to switch between. I play as a medic class. That's just what I've always done. It fits me quite well. Now, I'm very familiar with Battlefield. I've played the old PC games, the originals, at my friend's house because he loved them. I wasn't too into them, but you know, when I was there occasionally we checked them out. I really fell in love with this series when Bad Company came out. I had played a little bit of 2, but whatever. But it was Bad Company was something about the style of the game and the fun of the campaign, the gold bars. I rented it at a friend's house, and from there I was just absolutely hooked on this series. Just because the levels of destruction, it was unlike anything you could see at the time. And this one is sort of an evolution on that design. Larger worlds, more in line with the PC version. And just really presenting a different way to play. So this time around, there's more of a focus on sort of building small structures. You saw that guy, you know, putting together a sandbag, stuff like that. Little, damn, I'm just getting killed in 2 seconds here, as soon as I start filming. Anyways, yeah, and this time around, they seem to be focusing on realism a bit more, which I find in turn is slowing down the game a lot. I'm going back to the experience of Battlefield. You know, I played Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, 4, Battlefield 1 I didn't play as much. I didn't get that one to review, so I was kind of like, yeah, it was a busy season that year. It was a really busy year that year. Anyways, so now we're back here. Played this at E3, obviously, like I mentioned, this particular level. And yeah, it's not bad. It feels a little bit slower of pacing with the kind of change to realism, like I had mentioned. Reviving people, you being on the ground, being downed. I kind of feel like my medic class has been nerfed considerably in this with the longer animation of reviving someone. You know, it's nice to have realism, but it's also nice to have something that's just, I don't know, kind of a fast-paced, enjoyable shooter, which Battlefield always was. So I don't know if this is going to quite hit the mark with some players. We'll have to see. This is the beta. I'm recording this on Xbox One X, so you know you're getting the 4K resolution at 60 FPS with the HDR, and it does actually look stunning. This is very beautiful. I'm not surprised because obviously I've played this at E3, but they fine-tuned it really nicely, and I think the visuals are good. I have noticed a lot of bugs. There's one where you're like reviving people, and then you I guess, kind of switch classes with them or something, or you take their class. It's sort of awkward. I don't know why that's in there. And then there's like graphic glitches where there's lots of popping on objects, other little problems with the visuals. You know, for something that's an open beta so close to their launch, I'm a little surprised that they... Crap, actually threw a grenade. I'm very surprised that it's in the shape that it's in. I was just expecting something a little bit more polished from DICE at this point. Well, might as well get going, I guess. And it just... I don't know if there's something wrong, but the atmosphere just doesn't feel right. It's so quiet. I remember at E3 it being a little bit noisier, and even Battlefield 1 was a little louder, and it seems like a peaceful sort of walk. In the other level where you're in the streets and it's all foggy, that it does help kind of make it feel eerie, you know? It's got that really quiet death kind of sound to it. But on this one, it's... I don't know. It doesn't feel right. Something environmentally and atmospherically feels wrong. Atmospherically. It looks hella great, you know, it's like the visuals are impressive. But, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't quite... I think they need to do some little more tuning on this one. Still, it's going to be a great game, I'm sure. Got that trademark shooting and style of gameplay with the large vehicles and air on the ground. And I mean, it's Battlefield, right? People are going to love it because of the type of game it is. This one they're kind of a little bit worried on for release, but we'll see how it goes. I still think it's going to be successful. I just think there's been some odd negativity around this one. Jeez, okay. Kind of taking a calming, relaxing approach here. We haven't seen anybody really in a while, but I'm getting killed.
Attention, we have now taken objective Baker.
So we're taking that position. I really like the Battlefield games for the sense of scale and scope they give. And this one seems to also present that with large-scale worlds and some like different settings. You know, being World War II, it's something we've seen a lot of in the past. So you got to be creative in how you. Come on, getting like shot from nowhere. I can see my enemies. Anyways, you know, in the past, the World War II has been something that's been done a lot of times. We've seen so many games with it, and we left that genre was kind of dead for a long time, and we left it in. Now we are kind of circling back to it, and it should be interesting to see because they are picking different theaters of war for us to explore. There was a guy in this house, right? And I do like that approach of showing something a little bit different. Second level? I don't know. I felt the destruction was a little bit more toned down. I see that it's slightly more present now, but I recall at E3, like, I was shooting a pretty big gun at a house, and like the snow would just come off and it would like deteriorate the building, so that was a little disappointing for me. Hopefully we do get to see more larger scale destruction. It seems weird that they were so focused on like everything being dynamically destructible, and then they just kind of like tone it down. But we do get a huge boost in like, visuals, so that was real nice. Where the hell are the enemies? This is like the calmest damn Battlefield game I've ever played. I mean, I've died a few times, but I haven't really been in like combat with anybody. Maybe they're back here. It's just weird. It's supposed to be like a full server too. You know, you can obviously server browse because it's Battlefield. I get shot in the back. We've almost won. Good. Then we can switch over to that other map and show it off. So yeah, generally, bugs aside, it's been a pretty good experience. I mean, it's Battlefield. You really can't get a full idea for it until you see just how big the full game is. You'll see a lot of maps and extra support for it. I do find the picking up of ammo a little bit weird. Also, I want to mention that, you know, the scarcity is a little ridiculous in this. I feel like I'm spending more time gathering supplies than actively engaging with other people. You know, when the action is actually sort of going intensely. It's been strangely a calming match, which I find very, very weird for a Battlefield game. And again, maybe the atmosphere kind of turns into that. I don't know if anybody else has also been feeling that watching this, that it seems a little too relaxed. No, it's not calming of my voice. I'm saying, like, with the world around, it doesn't seem to be like that screaming and that intensity of like Battlefield 1. As much as I didn't play it as much as the others, I got into it a little bit recently with all the free maps on Xbox they've been doing. But you can really feel the urgency and the screaming and the squad orders, and it, you know, it feels a little bit more intense. Like this is war, and here it's kind of like, nah, you run into a guy and you shoot him a little bit. And I think Battlefield 1 should feel that way more because it's, you know, trench warfare. It wasn't as direct of combat. World War II was a little bit more, you know, aggressive in terms of battling and everything. Alright, we switched over to the other map, and we're getting into the action. So this was more of a city-focused environment. The other one was outdoors, and this one does feel a little bit more intense. Are you shooting at somebody there or no? But you're still gonna see that like calming effect to it. That's odd. I was really hoping for more action-packed levels to kind of kick off the beta, to kind of, you know, really get people into this. So I'm very curious about their selections. Apparently these are early war levels or something like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. This animation's weird. It's just like, I'm on the ground. I've fallen and I can't get up. It's very cinematic though. Definitely give it very cinematic. Then I kind of, I like the new spawning setup where you see them sort of going. I think the interface is very clean there. Whoa! That guy got taken out. Drop by E. So this map is also very beautiful. I think the visuals, the presentation of the level are really good. I love the authentic World War II style. They've really captured the streets. I wish they would go into a little bit more details with the buildings though. They're just empty places. And I know you gotta make cuts for the sake of performance at times. But still, create this beautiful world and then create these empty environments. Is the guy down here? Crap. I'm gonna go knife him. Did he knife me? I think he shot me. I'm a little disappointed. I don't know why I was trying to swim and knife somebody, but whatever. I think there's a good taste of what's to expect in Battlefield here with this one. I definitely think there's potential for this release, and I really don't know if I'm 100% sold on it. I'm gonna have to see what the full game kind of brings, and hopefully it does well because I really like the Battlefield series. And it's nice to have a World War II game. We've been asking for them for a long time. And now that it's... Oh, wow. Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. I was hoping he wouldn't see me through the wall, but, you know, whatever. We've been asking for World War II for a long time after there's been so many Modern Warfare titles. At least I know I have. And now that we have them, it's kind of like people don't seem to care for some reason, which is odd. I mean, obviously, Call of Duty World War II was actually pretty good, I thought. Nice change of pace. But a lot of folks are just used to that new style of, you know, faster paced modern action with more customization and weapons and stuff. So it is sort of hard to go back, but I do think we should have titles like this. I think another issue is it feels very familiar. I don't know what it is. It's just, it seems like I've played this type of game, you know, with Battlefront and Battlefield 1. Jump up there, maybe it's like a fatigue game? I don't know. I definitely like the style of it, and I think the visuals are quite good in this one. Seriously, the level of detail and everything is fantastic. But Betty? I'm not gonna go near that. Oh, and then you gotta get like supplies and stuff too, which is interesting. You know, like I mentioned, picking it up off bodies, you can already see that I'm out of ammo. but you can gather some neat supplies when you're doing like operations and everything from
We have
crates.
lost objective Caesar.
Yeah, it's a different, it's a very different type of Battlefield. It feels familiar, but yet the turn to realism seems to have really, I don't know, kind of drop in the gameplay for me a bit. It feels a little drab, and it's just so empty feeling. I don't know what, like, it doesn't have that intensity right now. I hope the other maps have more going on. It's just, for a full server, it seems like we're just chilling away from one another, and there's little bits of conflict, but not a whole lot. Like, this is World War II. It should be all intense and gritty and, I don't know, more exciting theater of war, at least. That's what I think of it. And I don't know if they've quite delivered on that. Mentioned on the atmosphere quite a bit, but yeah, it's kind of lacking. Crap. I was shooting just over his head there. It was bad aim on my part on that one. I should have had him. Then I gotta lie on the ground and go, oh, the humanity.
We've now lost objective Anton.
That's stupid. The more I see that animation, the stupider it is. Could you imagine dying like 30, 40 times in a match? Like, some people do have that. They die that many times. And just like, that would get so old so fast, man. Drive me nuts. That's a bad guy. Spawning also seems a little bit weird. I wanted to save that guy. Shit. There we go. Yeah, the spawning seems a little bit sporadic in this one. I know in the past you can kind of spawn on your friends wherever, but I don't know, more so than usual, it's sort of seems random. Damn, I went on a little bit of a killing spree on that one. Oh, can I get a hand? Could somebody save my life, or are these bad guys? I don't know if these are bad guys. I think they're bad guys. I don't know. This is really, it's gorgeous. I mean, look at the visuals on this. The 1X really does a great job on Battlefield. If you've seen Battlefield 1, Xbox One X Enhanced, it's really gorgeous. Nice touch up on that one. And I'd love to see Battlefield 4 get enhanced too. I know it's a lot older and the support might not be there for it. Though that one, the World War, like the modern World War setting, the modern warfare setting, I don't know what you want to call it. It looks really cool, and we haven't seen that from DICE in terms of an enhanced title yet. Obviously, the results on the base Xbox One are pretty good. You know, obviously, it was a little toned down to get that 60 FPS, and at the start of the generation, the power wasn't there to compare with the PlayStation. It just wasn't. But they made a really good-looking game, and it plays really well. Tons of content with it. This one will get tons of content too. I'm not, you know, not scared about that at all, or worried about that at all. It's just, it would be nice to see that one get touched up and see what DICE could do with a modern setting. We've seen their space setting with Battlefront, which looks just stunning. And then now we're seeing World War actions with these improvements, and the visuals are, you know, fantastic. Well, I made it. So I'd really like to see what they could do with a current setting with these better visuals. Anyways, I think that about sums it up for the Battlefield 5 open beta. It has potential. It's weird that they would release something that's a little bit less polished, especially as their open beta to attract players. And I hear they've been, you know, struggling to some degree to drum up interest for this one. It's a Battlefield game. I'm sure it'll do well, regardless of what happens. And I hope it is comparable, because I do want to see more World War games. I don't want this genre to die right away. Do we need a World War game constantly? No, but it would be nice to have one thrown in every once in a while, just to, you know, spice up the action and mix things up, because we don't want to get stale. As stale as World War shooters were, it's a little bit more stale having had the onslaught of modern shooters over the last however many years. We do need a variation in them. And it'd be nice to see DICE try to do maybe a futuristic one with Battlefield. I know there's Battlefront, which does that kind of futuristic sci-fi thing. Obviously, Star Wars, you know what that is. But it would be nice to see them try like 2142 again or something around there. You know, like just something really different with their setting. And I think that would lead well into what we're kind of looking for this gen. I don't know. Might also give them a little bit of space for creativity instead of recreating existing theaters of war.